My name is Frank A. Thomas, and I am privileged to share the preaching history of African Americans in this series on African American preaching. Last time we talked about the invisible institution. Now we're going to talk about when the majority of African Americans became Christians. The majority of African American slaves did not become Christians until after the second decade of the 19th century, which many scholars attribute to the emotional means of evangelization of the Second Great Awakening. For some slaves and free persons of color, especially in the Methodist and Baptist persuasion, this emotional evangelization signified a bridge of commonality Christianity had with African traditional religion, and they joined the Christian church in large and huge numbers. Blacks were attracted to the informal and spontaneous nature of the Methodist revival meetings, where they were permitted to participate alongside whites. They were also inspired by the strong stand the Methodist leadership, following the guidance of Wesley himself, took up against slavery. The Methodist message of personal holiness cut across racial, social, and economic lines, and a few of the most gifted blacks who joined the movement were encouraged to become preachers. One of these gifted black preachers was the best known and widely traveled Black Harry Hoosier. He was a servant of Methodist Bishop Asbury and reputed by some to be the greatest preacher in America, and drew large crowds of blacks and whites. This is the history of African American preachers. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. And please don't forget that each and every Monday we do a Periscope live broadcast, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Twice a week we release videos in this series on African American preaching. And finally, each and every week we upload spiritual vitamins to SoundCloud. We want to make sure that you will subscribe to each of these platforms. And I know you want to get as fast as you can this powerful information that's coming forth. So sign up. God bless you. And thank you so much for watching.